Hey, good morning from the office. I'm your host, BKP. Whoa, the new logo there on the bottom, fyntv.com. I like that. That's our new logo, our new brand. Excited to get that launched this morning, right in the bottom of the corner. It's that simple, fyntv.com. That's how you watch the show. 706-889-9700, and there are all the ways to follow us on social media. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I like that logo down the bottom. Way to go. Looks good. All right, folks. Wait a minute. Let me turn this off. Don't need it tweeting while we're talking. Before we get into some national issues, obviously, impeachment inquiry, and the details on the rules of impeachment. Wow. All the above. Next Tuesday in your local area, go vote. Okay? Please go vote. Vote for the candidate of your choice. Vote for the candidate that has given you the most information about themselves. That's what I'm saying. That's up to you to judge that. It's not up to a network. Now, this is an opinion show. It definitely is. From 8 to 10, Monday through Thursday. Friday, we switch it up. We do a little variety outside of no song and dance. We really don't do much song and dance on Friday, but we do a lot of different things on Friday to just end the week on a high note and have some fun. But Monday through Thursday, this is a direct 2 hours a day opinion show with your host, BKP. So very clear on that. But when it comes to the election Tuesday, I don't endorse. I don't want to say never. I have come on this show and fully endorsed, 7 days a week I fully endorse the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. I do support the President, and I will. Now, that would not mean that what you would want to say fair. I can't stand the word fair. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. But if I was to get the opportunity to interview a Democrat candidate for president, they would get a fair interview. I would ask Joe Biden why the hell he's so damn corrupt and his kids getting $50,000 a month, and how corrupt have they been, and when did it start, and what year, and all the above. I would be fair. That being said, I have a full endorsement for the President of the United States for 2020. And I know now. I better not say that. Because the never-Trumper president, you know who the president of the never-Trumpers of the United States of America, Mitt Romney. And the media loves him. Anyhow, getting back, trying to get this show on track this morning, but next Tuesday's Election Day. And what we do here at fyntv.com, Fetch Your News, we have always tried to bring you the most information to you, the viewer. We try not to step all over the candidate's message. We have a couple questions for candidates that stir, what we call stir some conversation. And we do interviews with every candidate before Election Day. So November 5th is your chance to go vote. Early voting is open here in Georgia until this Friday, all right, next Tuesday. Now for Gilmer County, let me say this and we'll move on. Gilmer County, there is a special election. Post 1 Commissioner Dallas Miller resigned in Gilmer County, Georgia, and there is a term of just about a year left that 5 candidates are asking you, the voters, to let them complete. That being said, all right, that is Jason Biggs, Hubert Parker, Dr. Ed Stover, Al Cash, and Jerry Tuso. Now, we invited all 5 candidates to sit down and do an average of a 30-minute interview. One interview is 26 minutes. One interview is 32. We try to stay in the average of about a 30-minute interview with all the candidates. We will air, they're on YouTube now, but we will air them live. So if you're on this show at 10 o'clock, we're going to take a brief commercial break and come right back, and we're going to air 3 interviews from yesterday. Jason Biggs, Al Cash, and Jerry Tuso. Dr. Ed Stover, for whatever reason, has never returned any of our reporters' phone calls, has never returned any emails or messages, so we have no idea what his platform is, what his reason. Here at FYN, we have no idea what his reason is, why he's running for office. We can't present you any information on this candidate. Now, the other candidate, Hubert Parker, all right, well known from Gilmer County, declined our invitation. He did respond. He did decline. For what reasons, I don't know. I tried to inquire the reasons with Mr. Parker of why he was declining. You see, I just tell you very nicely to everybody, you're not declining me. You're not declining FYNTV.com. You're not speaking to the voters. That's the bottom line. So it's not me. So you did not decline any candidate that does not participate in a debate when we hold them or participate in an interview process. Our interview process is not declining us. It's the voters out there. And it's up to them to question why you didn't do the interview, and it's up to them to accept your reasoning for it. But we don't have any, but Hubert Parker did decline our offer to interview. So what we do, so everybody knows, we close the interview so that way nobody, the 3 candidates that did interview, have no idea what the other candidates said. So that way nobody gets an edge on anything. They all get released at one time. You don't get to watch another candidate's interview and then tailor your questions around the other candidate's questions. We don't do that here. And then once we close the interviews yesterday, if the other 2 candidates call today and say that they've changed their mind, we can't do that. We don't let them watch the interviews and then respond. So there you go. All right, that's enough. It took a lot of time. I'm sorry. We are going to get straight into some national, but at 10 o'clock, stay with us at 10 when we close. All 3 of those interviews, they're 30 minutes apiece for the citizens of Gilmer County, and you will be interested in the candidates' answers in our interview. All right, enough said on that. Why did I say enough said on that? Knowing me, there's always one more thing I want to say. Today is Wednesday. That's not what the one more thing I wanted to say. Tomorrow being Thursday, Friday we're up at Circuit World. Yeah, they're still early voting. So after the interviews have all aired, I don't want to talk about any candidates, but I do want to come on and I want to share my opinion tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. We'll do it tomorrow. My opinion on the where Gilmer County's at right now, and some of the issues facing Gilmer County, and the open seat. I'll do that tomorrow morning. All right. One more thing. During the interviews, you're going to find one of my very strong personal opinions in the interviews, all 3. And I do clarify. I look at the camera, I look at the candidates, and I say, this is clearly my opinion. Okay, I think that's it. I think that is it. So let's manufacture something. If we don't have anything, and we're trying to run the news narrative now, and let's just make up something hypothetical and throw it out there and see if all the media will start running it like it's a new crisis that is coming and the sky is falling Chicken Little. Give me number 2. I'm going to have a hard time doing this show. I'm telling you, I am absolutely in love with that new FYNTV.com logo. That is slick. That is sweet. All right, anyhow. You know I have ADD, right? Is that attention deficit disorder? I got a disorder, all right. Schumer increasingly worried Trump will shut down government over impeachment. Let's throw that government shutdown out there. Let's do it in advance. Let's make the American people think it's already shut down. Let's circulate something that's the furthest thing from the truth. I'm just telling you, it is all, every bit of it is a coup, a hoax, and an attempt to remove our president, our duly elected president of the United States, from office. Before we get into any of the deep impeachment stuff, let's go to number 41. Here it is, day 10 of Chicago teachers strike. Mayor union leaders meet for hours but cannot reach a deal. I'm telling you, folks, it's crumbling. It's crumbling right before our eyes, okay? This is what makes Democrats shift their pants. Number 5, every day, they're trying to figure out how to keep the impeachment as an alternative to you paying attention to these two guys right here, the Attorney General and John Durham. That makes them shift their pants every day when they see these guys. All right? Now, here's the thing. I don't want you to get upset. Things are changing for this guy right here, number 10. Okay, remember number 10? That's General Flynn. It's going to be tied right back to the origins, and we'll see what happens. This guy here, you got to love it. I do. Where's he at? I have him here somewhere. Remember number 12? Let's go to number 12. Special Counsel Mueller's probe. Guilty, 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 guilty. 6X Trump now indicted. Roger Stone has been indicted. Michael Flynn, guilty. George Papadopoulos, guilty. They were running that this morning because they want you to know they were all found guilty, all next to Trump. But this is getting ready to happen. Hold on a minute. I have it here. I have it right here somewhere. Don't go away. Stay tuned. Next up, number 15. George Papadopoulos announcement soon on my interest in Katie Hill's soon-to-be vacant seat in the 25th District. Now, as you know, I'm not going to tell you anything new this morning. I may tell you some things you're not aware of in the 2 hours, but how the media operates, I'm probably not going to tell this audience anything new. Obviously, they're attacking George Papadopoulos, but there's no discussion now. This was on 2 networks this morning at 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. that I was watching. This one happened to be, what does Rush call them? PMS? I think he calls them PMS, NBC. I don't know. That's what Rush says, all right? NBC, MSNBC this morning, and CNN, they're attacking George Papadopoulos. As I showed you, they did not care to put up this morning, right there. You'll see Special Counsel Mueller's probe, number 12. Okay? Now, when they're talking about Papadopoulos, you see it's 2:39 in the morning on the Pacific. Right after it's 5:39 in the morning here Eastern time, and they didn't have a problem with putting this graphic up to show Special Counsel Mueller's probe, and this is what they used. You see Papadopoulos in the bottom center there, like America's Most Wanted. This is like the TV show America's Most Wanted, and they wanted you to look like Papadopoulos as the guy guilty had just finished a 3-year sentence. I think it was 14 days. And then what did they do? Right here, number 15, announcement soon on my interest in Katie Hill's soon-to-be vacant seat on a 25th district. And there's number 16. This is Katie Hill, George Papadopoulos to run for Congress. Now, it's all been set up. There's not a word. It's interesting. This woman, all right, has resigned in the midst of an investigation into her for breaking all the damn rules. You know, playing bounce house right there in the office. Just saying. You know, playing a little grab ass. I don't know, I'm just saying, you know, the old office game, grab ass, she was playing it right there. It happens to be against the rules. But the possibility that George Papadopoulos may run for this open seat because of this disgraced Democrat is totally been switched to George Papadopoulos, one of America's most wanted felons, related to Donald Trump, now seeks to run for Congress. Why? Why is the seat open? I'm going to take a brief break. We're going to get everybody set up, everything set up, and we're going to come back. And I don't know, if it's Wednesday. I'm in the mood to have a little fun. Maybe we'll have a little fun. What say you on the NCAA decision to let athletes profit off their name, likeness, whatever? Let's throw that out there for a little bit. I'm your host, BKP. We're going to take a brief break. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, one nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I'm going to say it all morning. I just love the new brand, the new logo there, fyntv.com. It's that simple, okay? That's clean, fyntv.com. Great new look. Looks amazing. There's our phone number. We are North Georgia's only live online morning show. There's our phone number right there on the screen, our email address, and all the ways you can follow the show with social media. Now, I want to ask, yes, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I answer my own questions in my mind. Actually, those are the best questions. You do understand that come in, the ones that I ask myself. But that being said, I know you want to go straight to impeachment. I got it. I said that yesterday. I got it. Straight to impeachment. But should college athletes be paid? Now, that's a quick question. Okay? That's a quick question that we can look at that has a lot of different opinions, a lot of different. And there's two or three where nobody's wrong, okay? And don't take that. I mean, you have the athlete playing the game. And do you have that picture I just sent you? Put it up, the last one I sent you, if it's ready, okay? Now, this is, okay? This is a college athlete, all right? And I'm trying to find his name here. Should be right under that picture. I'm not for sure who this is. Hold on, let me find.
For that?
No, I didn't.
In his heyday.
Wait a minute.
Look at Ed's likeness from the video game. Did you ever get paid? Can we put that back up on the screen for a minute?
Hold on.
I mean, look at Ed's likeness from the video game versus how he looked in his heyday. Did you ever
get paid for that? All right, should college athletes be paid?
He paid X amount of dollars.
Ed O'Bannon. I'm sorry, there it is. I know it. So on the screen, now I can get going. There's Ed O'Bannon, okay? As you can see, he is wearing his UCLA number 31. And on the right, or my right this morning, your left, the picture right above the word paid, whatever that is a video game. That is a video game with Ed O'Bannon's image on there, okay, and likeness. To the other side is the real Ed O'Bannon with his UCLA jersey on. So let's frame this up. Number one, the NCAA is not saying that Nick Saban, is that his name, of Alabama, now has to disclose how much the players are getting paid. Oh, hell, I'm in big trouble. I'm sorry. To play. It's not exactly that if you're reading it, but let's go with this. The NCAA Board of Governors on Tuesday voted unanimously to allow student athletes to be paid for the use of their name, image, and likeness once its three divisions decide on rules for such opportunities. We must embrace change to provide the best possible experience for college athletes, said Michael Drake, chair of NCAA, which governs major college athletes. The board, which met in Atlanta, asked each division to create rules between now and January 2021. So this is not happening tomorrow, okay? They're going to put the rules in place. They're going to go through a period and put the rules in place. The action was based on a recommendation from NCAA Board of Governors Federal and State Legislation Work Group, which includes Presidents commissioners, athletic directors, administrators, and student athletes. Structuring a model for allowing students to monetize a name. It's your name. If somebody uses your name, now this is where it gets, okay? Monetize a name, image, likeness, while maintaining some recruiting balance and one of the biggest and hardest issues that everyone's dealing with. Now that's where it comes in for me, the recruiting balance here, okay? So first of all, these young men are getting, for the most part, young ladies too. Let's not leave the ladies out of this, but these young men and ladies are getting full scholarships in a lot of ways, all right? And the full scholarship is, let's just use a round number, it's $50,000, you know, housing, food, perks. This doesn't include alumni cars and, you know, whatever else goes. Alumni apartments. I'm just saying, food, clothing, lodging, whatever, and books. Got to have those books, right, for those athletes. But let's say it's $50,000 in 4 years. That's $200,000. That's a pretty good paycheck, right? $50,000 a year is a pretty good paycheck to some. I get it. So there has to be a balance there. Second, recruiting. Really? Recruiting? What if you start saying my likeness would pay me better? My name, brand, and likeness would pay me better if my helmet had a G on it for Georgia, or if my helmet had, you know, if I'm in an Alabama uniform, my helmet, my jersey, basketball. I mean, could you see if Michael Jordan, what it would be worth to be in a Duke uniform versus, you know, a Gonzaga? I don't know. So there's recruiting. But I will say this. I will say this for these young men. Very split on whether you get paid. There's a side of me that says every single thing while you do in college goes into an account. Period. That you can't touch until you graduate college. There should be a graduation requirement, or till you leave if the NFL drafts you and takes you out. But you should not be able to get into this money. This money should be put into a trust or something that you cannot touch until you leave college. So you can leave college with $5-6 mil in the bank. You can leave college with $30 mil in the bank. I don't know, but you leave college. One, if you don't go to the NFL, you graduate. Something that ties to graduation, and when I say NFL, NBA, whatever, something that ties to graduation and pro sports, but you should not be able to, okay? You should not be able to get this money out. Second, look there. Ed O'Bannon, right? If you look on one side of the screen, on the other, somebody is using his likeness and somebody is charging kids. I haven't bought a video game. They're charging kids $59, $69, $79 for that video game. And it looks just like the person in the game. So if you want to use my name, you want to use my likeness, we need to talk. Because it's my name and it's me you're putting on the screen. And I don't want paid for NCAA. I don't want paid for playing the game. I'm getting my scholarship. I'm getting an education. That's what it was all set up in the beginning. Let's not lose sight of that. You know, scholarship, education, play ball, all right, and enjoy Saturday afternoon. And if you play well enough, a professional team in a draft will take you, but you get that education, all right? Let me tell you something. You need to go back, and while I'm on this, I'll get off this real quick, and we'll get over to impeachment. But you need to go back, all right, and see how many of these athletes are successful. That's right, okay? How many? There's only a handful that go to these leagues that get the mega money. The rest get paid very well. But what you'll find out is these athletes go into professional sports 22, 23 years old, maybe younger. They're done at 33, 34, 40, the old age of 40. And guess what? They still want those mega cars. Some of them are not very successful, but you watch the ones that buy during their career, they buy up restaurant chains, they maybe buy 4 or 5 car lots, whatever, but they get some business things working for them. And that education is necessary for them to sustain 40 plus. Let's just use 40 years old and plus, okay? Not everybody's Peyton Manning, son. Now, that being said, get back off that. No paycheck for playing. No access to the money, in my opinion, until you complete some kind of criteria on the rules of education. You can't touch the money. And yes, if somebody wants to use your name, your likeness, and sell you directly, you should get royalty off of it. It's just what I think. I'm your host, BKP. We're going to take another brief break so I can change subjects and get out of this. What do you think? Should the college athletes be paid? Take us a break.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
Better days ahead. October is Truck Month at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, with the year's biggest savings on every 2019 Chevy truck and SUV in Days' massive inventory, like over $11,000 off Silverado crew cabs, or more than $8,000 off new Chevy Colorados. So don't just sit there. Go save a payload during Truck Month, happening now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevy trucks always cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, one nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
Hey, we're back, folks. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. We're North Georgia's only live online morning show. It's Wednesday morning. It is raining outside. Look at that, 843. Look at that, FYNTV.com. It's that simple. I've always said it. And that is great. I love that logo. So whoever is, there's been a whole team involved. There's a lot of work done on rebranding their FYNTV.com. Looks great. I just can't say enough. Destiny, you got it positioned right where it needs to be. It looks great. So there's the phone number you can follow me on. Really? I really want you to do that. But anyhow, there's the phone number. It's a 24/7. Call it. I'll tell you. I'll talk to you. I'll take it. Whatever you want to say. And there is the email address and all the social media ways you can follow the show. Now, just to highlight something really quick, if you just joined the show, November 5th is Election Day, wherever you're at. It is Wednesday next week. I'll throw it out here. My brother is running for township supervisor. It's like a mayor. In Pennsylvania, they have townships, okay? And this is a pretty large township. It's Lehigh Township, Pennsylvania. Next Tuesday, he's on the ballot there. He's on the ballot next Tuesday. So he's running. All across this country on November 5th, there are elections everywhere. We're going to see what's happening. But right here, go vote. Please, go vote. And you know what? Demand your local news or your local whatever they are to get you the most information on candidates. Let me tell you what I have seen that's really bothered me here in the last couple elections is candidates avoiding media, intentionally trying to control the message that goes to the voters. And candidates need to wake up now and realize that has not worked out very well for some people running for office like Hillary Clinton. So the candidates on a local level that are trying to avoid certain media, no matter where you're at in the United States, so hopefully they can control the message, is not working out. Voters demand to see these candidates, hear these candidates, and know where they stand. Voters please demand to find out what these people will do with your damn money if elected and get in office. Now, I know what they're saying. We have Congress, okay? And we have this whole thing. I'm going to go down this road for just a minute. We have this whole thing, and they're freaking out over separations of power. So on one day, if we spend over $1 trillion, it's Donald Trump raising the deficit through the roof. Just saying, okay? Spending has to go across the president's desk, and yes, the president, if he wants to keep the ball rolling, has to sign it. And yes, the debt and the deficit and the debt are two different things. The debt is enormous in this country. Ginormous. Enormous. In fact, I'm not a gloom and doom. I know it's raining, but I'm not a sky's falling kind of guy. I don't think we ever paid a debt. I don't. I think the country ends up financially collapsing. But let me get back where I'm going. President Trump doesn't want to send your tax money to Ukraine because it's a corrupt little place. So he says, hey, let's look at a couple things here before you get the tanks, before you get the weapon systems. Now, Obama sent blankets and cans of baked beans. Trump has been sending the Ukrainian people, the government, the real things they need for fighting. But he said, hey, I have these things called taxpayers. It's their money. I'm not sending you a blank check. That day is over in America that you countries, any country out there that doesn't want to show us good reason why you should receive this money, go get a mortgage. and have a mortgage company send you 20 questions a day for 3 weeks that they want answered that seem to be ridiculous so they could feel good that when giving you the money, you would be able to repay it or use it properly or whatever it may be. But God forbid the President of the United States ask anybody how you intend to spend the taxpayers' money. It's absolutely ridiculous what we're looking at and seeing here on a daily basis with this impeachment bull crap. Pulling out of Syria. Everybody's in an uproar. We find out what? That the Kurds are the media's chosen people. I think I would like to, we are not here, we are not able to put a full team on research. We will one day. Don't you forget it out there. But we're not able to put a full team on research of some of these things. But why don't you go back all the way to the George W. Day? All right? When we went into Iraq and Afghanistan with George W. Why don't you go back then and look at every single thing that happened with the Kurds as far as the media reporting? See if the Kurds have always been the media's chosen people. Right? So we don't want to spend, this guy doesn't want to spend trillions of dollars. This guy can't get $1 billion to keep our southern border safe. Can't do it. No. But we're going to figure out why we can't send Ukraine. We need to impeach him because he held up a couple bucks. Maybe he held up a couple bucks. We're going to impeach him. It's Ukraine. We need to defend their border. Do you realize Democrats now want to spend your tax money, impeach the President of the United States for not spending your tax money to defend the Ukrainian border? Really? Okay? And now they're upset that we're going to pull military troops out to defend the border between Syria and Turkey. But I don't know. Where are those TV vans? Where are the satellite crews? Are those kids still in them damn cages? Is anybody trying to illegally cross the border? Do we have pregnant women in cages? Do we have children separated from their parents? Interesting. So, that being said, here's what I'm getting back to. Demand that these local politicians tell you what they're going to do with your money. Taxes are out of control, folks. They are flat out of control. I become the bad guy. You can be whatever the hell you want, but I become the bad guy, right? If you say no to ESPLOST, Education Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax, if you say no to it, if you say you don't want people to vote for it, well, all of a sudden you don't love the little children of the world. You don't love them enough to get them a school bus. Damn it! You can't get school bus drivers to drive the little heathens now as it is. Sorry. But we become the bad people. Watch how fast a taxpayer becomes the bad people. It's a penny. You know what's interesting to me, and I'm not going to say any names because there's very good people. We have to have teachers for the government. Should have to take a class. But anyhow, so you should have to get something in your paycheck every week, a notification saying, I swear to God, I don't care who you are, if you work for any level of the government, you should have to get a notification. This money came from the taxpayers of your district, of your county, of your city, of your state. This money came from taxpayers. Okay? Property taxpayers pay your salary. Period. You can get angry if you want. They do. Okay? Period. Now, there should be something in every check, because what gets me is a administrator in some area getting this check, and all the taxes are taking out of that check. You're getting a tax money check, and the taxes are being taken out again from you, and then you say, I pay my taxes. I get it, you do. Because if they told you you're getting $1,000 a week, and you get, $720, yes, there's been taxes removed. You realize that taxes removed from your check is all taxes to begin with that came from taxpayers. And what the hell? Now, I do know, at least on the education side of this coin, you need to know, and you should have the education that says that hamster wheel can't run for long. You ever see that hamster run and he gets nowhere, but he's running like hell? That's not what the hell we're doing with how much our government is taking from us taxpayers to keep that wheel running. I don't know what the hell I'm saying now. But the point is, everybody demand, what are you going to do with my money? What the hell's happened in this country? Why are you giving your money away? Why are you not questioning what they're doing with it? What the hell's wrong with you people? I'm sorry. Listen, let me say this, and I'm going to get off this and switch, because I don't know how the hell I got on this. But you remember when Dad gave you a 20 to go get milk? Right? Where's he going with it? You said, all right, you just got your driver's license. You're 16 years old, 15, in Mississippi, wherever, 17, whatever. You just got your driver's license. So your dad gave you a $20 bill and said, go down to the store, get milk and bread. And you come back, and it costed $6, it costed $6. And you got 14 in your pocket. You kept the 14. Where's the change? Right? Where's my change? That used to be the first thing your dad yelled when you walked through the door. Not did you get the milk and bread? Where's my change? Put it on the kitchen counter. I know how you kids are. Whoa, getting a little personal there. Not us with the government. Not us. We give them the 20. We never ask where our change is. We never ask, hey, who told you to take my money and invest it? Who told you to take my money and buy this? Who told you to take my money and hire this person and that person? I want some of my money back. Folks, I'm just telling you, November 5th, I wish like hell. What the hell did the Tea Party stand for? What did it say? Taxed enough already. I am absolutely blown away by how even people that are considered Tea Party are finding ways to justify fees, new this, new that, spending galore, and new taxes, and finding a way to say, well, we need goods and services. We need services. What the hell? Next Tuesday, it's November 5th. When you go vote, please, between now and then, call the damn candidates. I mean, if they got a website that says, here's my number, call them up. Say, all right, will you increase debt? Will you sell bonds? Will you raise my taxes? I need to know. I pay property tax. I'm telling you, we say no to SPLOST and all hell breaks loose. Like we've done something wrong. But no, they want this sugar high. It's a damn sugar high. They don't stop with the buildings and the buildings and the buildings. They don't stop. Brick and mortar, boom, boom. It's only a penny. All right, taxes really sets my ass off. I'm sorry. I can't deal with that. I don't believe in all of these taxes and fees. All right? And you got some damn politician, and we're the bad people. You go around and promise what? Teachers a raise. Did you call me up and ask me if I want to give my damn money to the next thing that you want to go promise? Now, see, some of them out there be like, oh, well, BKP's against teachers and them being paid. Hell no, I'm not. I'm just tired of you damn people out there disregarding the voters, disregarding the American people, and just taking our money and investing it the way you see fit and spending it the way you see fit. And then if we say something, we're the damn bad people. We're the damn people giving you the money. I probably should take a break. That was not an intended segment this morning. Brought to you by BKP. I'll be back after these messages.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
Better days ahead.
October is Truck Month at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, with the year's biggest savings on every 2019 Chevy truck and SUV in Days' massive inventory, like over $11,000 off Silverado crew cabs, or more than $8,000 off new Chevy Colorados. So don't just sit there. Go save a payload during Truck Month, happening now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevy trucks always cost less.
Better days ahead. Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
And we're back, folks. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. We are North Georgia's only live online morning show. Now, look, it's raining outside. It's October 30th. Tomorrow, as I understand, in the entire path of Georgia here, where we are at, North Georgia, is almost 100% chances of rain. So please check out with your local communities, the cities, and I would say local chamber. I would say your local chamber, if you're in North Georgia, one of the 10 counties that we cover, and also North Carolina, on what, and we will do it too. We'll start sharing on our Facebook page as fast as we can. But there are a lot of areas that are saying they're going to change the little safe zone trick-or-treaters for Saturday. Now, you can't go and say, BKP just said it changed to Saturday. No, I didn't. There's a lot of talk of it. Tomorrow's predicted to be 100% rain. And there are people that are discussing moving your little trick-or-treater safe zones to Saturday. I'm just saying, we will do everything we can to go to all the chambers, check out all the information, share on our Facebook, blast it out. So follow us on our Facebook page, Fetch Your News Facebook page, and we'll try to get it out there, Instagram and everything, what's happening. We do want the little ghosts and goblins and the ghosts and goblins and the Twicka-tweetas to be able to get out there and enjoy. Now, I'm going to do the president of the Never Trumpers in a minute. But from U.S. GDP, all right, this morning we're getting some economic data in. U.S. GDP rose at better than expected in the third quarter, as consumers continued to spend. 1.9. Now, the media, to them, is a disaster, okay? One of the broadcasters this morning said this economy reminded them a lot of the Obama economy. All right? Growth is 1.9 GDP, okay? U.S., this is from CNBC, U.S. GDP rose at a better than expected 1.9% in the third quarter as consumers continued to spend. Now, there's a couple things. We're going to approach this with common sense. Okay, so put your common sense hat on, and I don't know, I could be wrong, right? There's always that chance. Always that chance I'm wrong. But let me see if I got anything on this, okay? So number 52. What is this tagline? It's all over this morning. What does this tagline say? U.S. economic growth expected to slow in third quarter, okay? Gross domestic product, third quarter forecast. Atlanta Fed, 1.7%. NY Fed, 1.9. Atlanta Fed, 1.7 growth for third quarter. So they're trying to push 1 to 1.7, and their narrative is that it's expected to slow, but at no time do they write that it's better than expected. Now, in the GDP, okay, we're going to put, they're asking, and I watched CNN this morning, they're asking questions like, hey, where is the 4 and 5% that 4 and 5% that Donald Trump promised us? Well, Christine Roma at CNN asked Peter Navarro that question yesterday. And Peter Navarro, and I forget his exact title, he's a member of the President Trump's economic team, looked right at her and has been putting out. The Federal Reserve continued to raise rates to slow the growth down. Okay, now, what's his name? Jerome Powell, and I'm doing this from memory, I don't have any notes up. Jerome Powell at the Federal Reserve, they have been creeping up rates. Now, there's been a cut. There's looked to be another cut. But they claim they want to keep this growth in check. They don't want inflation, is what they say, and they plan to keep it in check. So Peter Navarro, Larry Kudlow, the president, they all blame us sitting right at around a 2% growth rate. We are growing. President has not had a negative growth rate. GDP. The country's not been in a negative since 3 years that Donald Trump has been president of the United States. They don't want to talk about that, okay? They have wished a recession on the American people. They have. They are doing everything. They are the one labeled it trade war. You see, the media could have come out and said trade negotiations. All of the taglines all along could have said, President Trump and China have entered trade negotiations, and Trump looks to and has put tariffs on many Chinese items during these negotiations. But it's a war to them. They labeled it a war. So the trade war, they've done everything they know to do to try to push this country into a recession and stop the growth. They know the economy, no matter what Trump says today, is the strongest voting factor there is for the American people. So they're doing their work. 1.9. President of the United States, Peter Navarro, Larry Kudlow all say that if the Fed, Jerome Powell, would not have kept creeping the rates up, we would be to a 3.5, maybe a 4. So in this article, and we'll move on from that, this is from CNBC, and we're going to use common sense here. U.S. GDP rose at a better than expected 1.9 in the third quarter as consumers continued to spend. Now, they tried to scare consumers, they tried to scare consumers and stop them from spending any way they can. So let's say this, the negative press out there going into the recessions, concern, China trade war, job losses, whatever, consumer confidence, how about that one? They have done everything over the last quarter to drive down a consumer's interest to spend a dollar. They want you in such fear that you just go to work, get that money they give you, give those undeserving people the taxes, put it away, and go again. Because you should not be spending a nickel, car, house, boat, nothing, according to the media, because there's such a fear factor, all right, out there on what's going to happen with the economy. But you, the consumer, okay, continued to spend. Common sense number one. Maybe you're not listening to them. But here are some things. The U.S. gross domestic product, the broadest measure of U.S. economy, grew faster than expected in the third quarter, but slowed slightly from second quarter as business investment declined. Now, for me, I'm not going to say business owners and business investment has stopped in this country. But the Democrats' Russian hoax doubled down on now their Ukraine hoax, Ukrainian telephone call, impeachment, and what's happening in the Democrat, there's a lot of variables, let's put it like that, for business owners right now where they're thinking, I'm good. I mean, I'm happy with the growth. I have talked to business owners that are growing at 20% a year, but maybe I better sit still and not open 5 more stores, or sit still and not buy 5 more trucks right now. These damn people in Washington, D.C. is crazy. There's no telling what they'll do. I don't know. That's the common sense I get out of that sentence. The broadest measure grew faster than expected in the third quarter, but slowed slightly from the second quarter as business investment inclined. The Commerce Department on Wednesday said that the economic activity in the U.S. grew at an annualized rate of 1.9% in the third quarter, down slightly from 2. Now remember, it was only 2 and it went to 1.9. Now, according to analysts, according to Steve Ratner on NBC that brings his charts and graphs, according to all the economic advisors around the pundits there, the tables on cable news, we should be in a full retreat recession by now. See, just 2 days ago, they can't answer why the stock market hasn't totally collapsed and we're not in a free fall and we're not in a recession right now, and people are crying because they're losing their homes left or right, whatever. Because the media's done everything. See, it's slightly gone down from 2 to 1.9 according to this. From 2, from 1 point, it grew on an annual and slightly down from 2 in the second quarter. Economists polled by Dow Jones had expected the economy to grow at 1.6. So all the economists out there together, their expectations was 1.6. The better than expected print was the result of continued consumer spending as well as the government's expenditures. The government report said personal consumption expenditures, a gauge of spending by the American households, rose at 2.9% annualized rate, while government spending grew at 2%. Now, if households spending went up 2.9%, are they listening? That's a poll I want to hear. I want to know, because what do I do every day? And I'm not going to try to draw. That's why I said let's put our common sense hats on. I'm not going to try to draw a total comparison to the GDP in this country and the voters. But it seems to me they're not listening. Because I'm going to tell you, if I watch CNN at 4 a.m. and I watch MSNBC at 5, and if you listen to these networks, ABC, Chuck Todd, Meet the Press, Meet the Depressed, as Rush says, Meet the Press, Chuck Todd, Face the Nation with Brennan, okay? George Stephanopoulos or Martha Raddatz, ABC. You watch any of these networks, you would absolutely be in fear. You would not buy your next pair of shoes. You would only go to the grocery store and get you wouldn't get name brand products anymore. You would start going and buying beans by, a 50-pound bag, dry goods. You would start storing up your dry. I swear, if you listen to any of these, you know what I'm saying. But it didn't work. They're not able to convince you out there that the sky is falling. They're not. I'm just telling you. And in doing that, I don't think they can convince you that the president needs impeached. I think the 2.9, and I'm going to say this, okay? It's a long shot, but I'm going to go with this. Personal consumption expenditures gauge of spending by American households rose 2.9%. I think that's the same group and the same reason why I can come to you today and tell you America's not listening to all this impeachment garbage. All right? They're not. They're not paying attention to it. And I tell you, as things go, if once we get the election over with, I think 2020 is not going to be a bad year. But I think 2020 is going to be a tough year in some ways because we got to get this election over with. I wanted to bring that up. U.S. economic growth expected to slow in third quarter. That's the way it's going to get presented all day long. Because if they could get a recession by noon, they would have it and love it. The media, you know them. Now, the Kurds, the media's chosen people. The households of America. The men and women and the children in the households of America, they would love for you to be in a deep recession and be hurting right now. Oh, yes. But they just can't do it. They can't do it because we don't trust them and we're not paying attention to them anymore. Look at the way that's written, and then you go read the article. Rose better than expected, and consumer spending up 2 point. I mean, I have to say, the groups, there's going to be roundtables today somewhere on these networks. They got to fill time, and they're going to have whack jobs on there. And somebody's going to look at somebody and say, with all we know, with the crisis we have, and expert witnesses with Ukraine, and all we know now, why are Americans spending when they know Donald Trump is about to collapse this country due to his trade war, this, and this? Why are they spending? Why are they not heeding the warnings we're giving them on 7 days a week that the sky's going to fall? Why not? We need to know. I'm your host, BKP. Let's take a brief break. We'll come back. Yeah, we're going to do impeachment as soon as we get back. Would you, Haj? Take a break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, one nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. There you go, FYNTV.com. It's that simple. It looks great on the screen there. That's how you call me. Send me a text message on the screen, my email address, and all the ways you can watch social media. So, you know how I'm about to say something that puts me right in the level of a sixth grader, and I know you're going to get upset, but you know how much I like this baboon, Eric Erickson. Put that up. That last picture I sent you. Did I send you a picture, or did it come? All right, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know if I sent it. Yes, I'm sorry. Maybe I should not have called him a baboon as though he is a baboon. Maybe I should not call him names, Eric Erickson. But maybe I should be very clear. I like nothing about him. Now, his president will not shut up, and we will get back to the baboon on the screen in a second, Eric Erickson, which I do not like. I can't say this. He appeared. The baboon was uncaged and appeared at a GOP meeting not long ago, and I asked the individual in charge, why would you bring this baboon to speak at a GOP meeting where I know the group inside really liked Donald Trump, and you would let this baboon, this never Trumper, speak? Now, here's his president, number 33. So yesterday, this is the Never Trumper. This is the president of the Never Trumpers. This is the hero of the left media, the hashtag deep state corporate corrupt media. This is their hero because he's not a Republican, and right now he's just somebody trashing the president. So he's a Never Trumper. Senator Romney decries Windman, and we will talk about Windman. He is the colonel who tried, I'm not understanding how they're reporting this, because he's openly saying he tried to alter a transcript. Interesting. And the media is going with he tried to save us and tell us the truth because the White House released a bad transcript. Senator Romney decries Vindham attacks. It's absurd, disgusting, and way off the mark. This is a decorated American soldier, and he should be given the respect that his service to his country demands. Never Trumper, president of the Never Trumpers. Okay. Now put the baboon back up, number 54. All right. I want to say something, and I got to get past this, okay? Now, I'm the kind of guy that holds a grudge. I am. Just can't help it. Now, you could look at a grudge in a whole different way. But if you take a crap on me, I don't feel I have to rush back to be your friend. Remember. I'm just being candid. I know you didn't like that, but if you crap on me, okay, I don't see where I need to rush back to see, hey, can we be friends? And I love all the stuff that comes up. Well, you're only hurting yourself, and, they're not upset, you're upset. I understand all that. I get all the grudge shit that everybody posts, all right? Or all that. I got it. I'm just very simple. Let me say it one more time and I'll move on. If you take a crap on me, I don't see a reason to rush to come back to be your friend. There's only certain situations that I feel you shower the crap off and you go on with life. I pick and choose that. I'm sorry, I know you don't like it. But sometimes things happen. Take a shower, get the crap off you, go on with life. Repair that relationship, whatever you want to do. I don't want to go down there. I'm not damn Dr. Phil. But this baboon took a crap on all Trump voters, and no, I've not forgiven him. Because he is the baboon that he's always been. He's not changed, okay? And I do not like Eric Erickson. Eric Erickson canceled 2020 conservative gathering in Atlanta. Conservative commentator Eric Erickson Remember, he does not like the President of the United States. He lies when he says he does. He lies when he says he supports the President. He lies to all of you Trump supporters out there if you think this guy is on your side. Erickson canceled his resurgent gathering in Atlanta next year because he's worried he would be held hostage at my own event over the criticism of President Donald Trump. That's right. I don't want to put any speaker or sponsor in an awkward position, the WSB radio host wrote in a series of tweets, and I want to say what I think without having to wonder if I might piss off someone who can undermine the conference. Well, I don't know if I can undermine your conference, and I probably wouldn't make that attempt, you baboon, never Trumper. But you would piss me off. You do. Once an outspoken member of Never Trump movement, Erickson has fiercely defended the president on a range of issues and has talked of a surprise phone call from the president thanking him for his support. But he's also continued to criticize Trump for some of the tweets and actions, including becoming one of the first well-known conservatives to blast the president's comparison of impeachment to a lynching. See, Erickson came out and blasted the president of the United States for comparing the impeachment to a lynching. One of the first. That's right. Eric Erickson in a tweet. It is not lynching. Let's not start dropping words that are important with real historic meaning where we water them down to nothing. He went after. In fact, I got to put the baboon's words up. So here goes. Okay. All right. I have been the one, all right, that has said all along with this guy, why are you supporting him? If I come out today, all right, here it comes. I'm going to send it to you right now, Destiny. As soon as you get it, put it up as soon as it's ready, okay? If I come out today and I say something positive about the President of the United States, or I pick a subject, okay, and I'm not going down this road. Damn it, I'm not going down the road, so don't start judging me and going nuts over this. But this guy did his whole thing, and he hates House Speaker David Ralston. All right, good for you, all right? Fine. A never-Trumper baboon here, Eric Erickson, hates David Ralston, Speaker of the House. Well, what do you think of that? Now, Trump supporters jump on the baboon's train when he hates Ralston. But then they jump back off the damn train when he goes after the president. What the hell's wrong with you people? Get off the damn baboon's train and leave him alone. I just don't like him. If you pick that up, I just don't like him. I just do not. Number 55 is on the screen there. Here's what Erickson said. It is not a lynching. Let's not start dropping words that are important. Right there on the screen. And he takes Donald Trump's tweet, and he's one of the first. It says it right in the article to go after my president of the United States. Eric Erickson's a never Trumper. I cannot believe you turn him on in the afternoon. I can't believe you listen to 1 minute of what he has to say. He does not like your president of the United States if you're a Donald Trump supporter. He is led by the never-Trumping president, Mitt Romney. Take a break, come back, wrap up our pictures of the morning.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
Better days ahead.
October is Truck Month at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, with the year's biggest savings on every 2019 Chevy truck and SUV in Days' massive inventory, like over $11,000 off Silverado crew cabs, or more than $8,000 off new Chevy Colorados. So don't just sit there. Go save a payload during Truck Month, happening now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevy trucks always cost less.
Better days ahead. Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. Now, let me just say this. Right at 10 o'clock, we're going to take a break. We're going to go to commercial break. We're not going anywhere, so you stay right here, focused in, and we're going to run our 3 interviews for Post 1 Commissioner of Gilmer County. We're going to just let all 3 of them go back to back. First one will be Jason Biggs. The second one will be Al Cash. The third one will be Jerry Tuso. Dr. Ed Stover has never communicated with us in any way whatsoever. Emails, phone calls since the beginning of the campaign. He's not one time, so we can't bring you any information where he's concerned. And that's where we're at with that, because our goal is just to bring you information. That's it. So you can make a decision when voting. And candidate Hubert Parker, okay, Hubert Parker declined the opportunity to interview so that we could air that to you. He declined that. Actually, I tried to find out why, and he just double declined and move on. So, okay, so let me say this. Let's go through 10 o'clock, the interviews. So let's go through our pictures this morning. We'll just fly backwards through them or forward. Let's go to number 1. They're trying to create a government shutdown. Now, some of these will be out of order, and we'll flip back, okay? Schumer increasingly worried Trump will shut down government over impeachment. In terms of a shutdown, obviously there are many weeks between now and November 21st, so we'll take it each day as it comes. Number 2, Schumer increasingly worried Trump will shut down government over impeachment. Now let's stay on this for just a minute. Here is the judge, number 3. Let's go 3. Judge. Number 4, Lisa Page and Strzok, Peter Strzok, FBI. 5, the guy with the smile and the mustache, John Durham. And then you have the Attorney General Special Investigator, and then you have the Attorney General William Barr, and they scare the shift out of this guy right here, number 6. This is James Clapper, NSA Director for Obama. He's got his I did it hands up. This is number 7. That's John Brennan, CIA Director under President Barack Hussein Obama, telling Clapper, if I go down, you're going down with me. This is number 8, James Brennan. This is John Brennan. I'm starting to get a headache. Number 9, Horowitz, the Inspector General. We're waiting for his FISA warrant abuse report. The Inspector General Horowitz should be out any day. And here is number 10, General Flynn. Okay, so let's stay with number 10 for a minute. I hope I can get this done before the break, and we'll get a couple more pictures here in a minute. But man, where is my... I had a story up here. Did I lose it? There it is. Red State. This is from Red State. Lee Flynn up there. Whiplash. It's been a little wild 5 days for Michael Flynn. This came out yesterday. Okay. Elizabeth Vaughn. I give a shout out. On Monday, the U.S. District Court. Now this Wednesday, you did not hear this on ABC. It's very vague. MSNBC, I watched all the way up to Morning Joe and Minka. CNN, you're not seeing this anywhere. On Monday, U.S. District Court Judge Emmett Sullivan, I think that's number 3, put him up. 1, 2, go there. All right. On Monday, U.S. District Court Judge Emmett Sullivan, who is presiding over the General Michael Flynn's case, go back to Flynn, that should be number 10. All right. Canceled a hearing scheduled for November 5th. He issued a statement which said, in view of the party's comprehensive briefing concerning 109 defendants' motion, a briefing concerning 109 defendants' motion to compel production of Brady material, the court cancels the motion hearing previously scheduled for November 5th. Sullivan is referring to the bombshell court filed submitted last Thursday by Flynn's new legal team, which is led by Sidney Powell. Look her up. I think it's Sidney Powell, her. In a filing, Powell accused high-ranking FBI officials of orchestrating an ambush interview. Yep, on Michael Flynn, not for the purpose of discovering any evidence of criminal activity. They already had tapes of all the relevant conversations about which they asked Mr. Flynn, but for the purpose of trapping him into making a statement they could allege as false. He was totally set up. I would love to see him in the second administration. I posted about the detail on Saturday. Powell alleges that then FBI lawyer Lisa Page and others manipulated the original 302 report. When you interview somebody, you get it, you do a 302 report, okay? Powell alleges that the lawyer Lisa Page and others manipulated the 302 report. The filing claims that Peter Strzok, the lead agent on the case, suggested using news of the Steele dossier as a pretext to go interview people. It shows that the FBI tried not to give General Flynn the impression they were interviewing him for a criminal matter. The filing also alleges that former DNI James Clapper, who will be interviewed soon by John Durham, alerted Washington Post writer David Ignatius to publish an article about Flynn's conversation with then Russian Ambassador Kislyak. Powell has requested that the Department of Justice hand over a list of documents which may potentially contain exculpatory information, otherwise known as Brady material. Finally, she asked for the judge to dismiss the charges against Flynn. So let me just give you a real quick cast of characters. I'm telling you, they won't talk about it here. Number 4, this would happen to be Lisa Page, FBI attorney, and Strzok, spoke of in the article. This happened to be the James Clapper, the guy, I did it guy, right here, number 6. The I did it guy will be interviewed by number 5, the guy smiling there with the mustache and a little beard there, John Durham. It's all coming together. Pay attention to that. I know you keep yelling impeachment, impeachment. Pay attention to that. Learn this. Get ready for it. And impeachment is just a shadow that they are trying to cast over the truth of what's going on. So let's just go to the narrative they're trying to push this morning. So we'll go to, let's see what it says. Number 11, Trump says U.S. has killed al-Baghdadi, number 1's replacement also. Number 13, Democrat nomination in New Hampshire. Bernie's back up there at 21. I mean, a heart attack 3 weeks ago, and now he's back at 21. Warren is at 18, Biden 15, and there's Peter Pan Buttigieg and the Gay Brigade up to 10%. Remember, every time you see this, all right, I got to go past this. We talked about it early. Number 15, George Papadopoulos' announcement soon on his interest in Katie Hill's soon-to-be vacant seat in the 25th District. Go to 16, Papadopoulos to run for Congress. Keep in mind, Katie Hill resigned in absolute disgrace. She's blaming, she did not apologize for a single thing to the constituents of her, the voters that voted for her in the 25th District of California. Not one apology word, just to blame you and I, conservatives, and right-wing conspiracy and attacks on why she's not in office. But using her office as romper room and, doing some things she shouldn't be, you never hear that. You won't hear that as you see George Papadopoulos running for that office. Number 18. Mulvaney was left in the dark on al-Baghdadi's operation. They're saying that Mick Mulvaney wasn't told. Hey, what are they doing in there? Don't worry, man. Don't worry, Mick. Just go on upstairs. Take a breather. I'm telling you. All right, 19. NSC official tells Congress he was all dressed. He was dressed yesterday. This guy was dressed up. He had all his medals, his badges, his everything. No disrespect. I don't want to disrespect, but interesting, okay? NSC official tells Congress he tried to add edits to White House memo about Trump-Ukraine call. He tried to add them. Here is Minka screaming about it this morning. Number 20, look at her. She is freaking out. Debunked Trump's false claim that White House memo of Ukraine call was an exact transcript. So we know 100% that now we have, what is it? We have 100%, the guy's on the call. Now, why is he the first that I'm aware of? Why is he the first to come forward to say he was going to edit the transcript? Now, that transcript's been out for 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks, a month. We'll call it a month. Transcript's out there for a month, right? Just think about it. And in the last month, you do know that this gentleman right here, this colonel, we'll get to him. Let's go. Let's just do number 21 and show you how they're all up in arms. He added edits. House Democrats release resolution detailing next steps of the impeachment inquiry. That's number 22. All right. But let me get to go to number 29. Now, I do not know why this guy chose to do 10 hours of testimony in full military dress. I mean, I don't know. I know people say, well, I'm being disrespectful, but I don't know if he thought it was picture day or what. There's no way I would have showed up not disrespecting the uniform, please. But Trump allies criticize impeachment witness Alexander Vidman ahead of testimony. Now, let's think of this. Call's been out for a month, right? Call's been out for a month. How many people were on the call? Maybe they'll let us know. 10, 5, 6. How many were actually on the call? Out of anybody on the call, did you find anybody in the last month to come forward and say, I was on the call, go to CNN, MSNBC, and say, I was on the call and it's wrong and I heard something different? No, you didn't. Where have they been hiding this guy? Huh? For 4 weeks. Where have they been hiding him? It's interesting they did not leak what he said until now, but they'll leak everything else. No disrespect, but I don't believe he made an attempt. Number 30, okay? National security official tells Congress he tried to add edits to White House memo about Trump-Ukraine call. Now, the reason they've ran this and they're running with him is they want you to hear the audio. And I'll tell you, it's become a downright disgrace. We forget about the word corruption in this whole phone call. We forget about Burisma. They've already watched Hunter Biden. Hunter goes on ABC and says, I probably wouldn't have got the job without my dad. I did it. It's done. It's over with. They all did a whitewash of that. Where's Hunter? Well, he went on ABC. Oh, he answered that. He went on ABC. He told the American people. Where is the media digging into this investigation themselves? Why, at any other time, if a president of the United States was concerned about something and wanted an investigation done, the media would run a team immediately to see what they could find out about what the president wanted investigated, but not in this case. Total setup. Number 32. Colonel tried to fill gaps in Ukrainian call transcript. Number 34. They're trying to build a visual narrative. They're trying to build something up that is so patriotic that they have to get this guy out of office. I swear to God. He's a patriot. Republicans defend key impeachment witness from attacks. That guy, a Purple Heart, I think it would be a mistake to attack his credibility. South Dakota Senator John Thune, the #2 Senate Republican, said in an interview, "You can obviously take issue with the substance, and there are different interpretations about all that stuff, but I wouldn't go after him personally. He's a patriot." All right, let's go to quick polling. Number 35. If the House impeaches President Trump, should the Senate convict him? 46 yes, 47 no. The true on this is not true. This is not true. The President of the United States is in good standing with the American people. All right? Big mistake for Democrats right here. 36. Is the impeachment inquiry a political lynching? 40% yes, 54% no. Thank God we have the baboon never Trumper Eric Erickson for clarification. Number 37, voters feeling on Trump impeachment inquiry. 36%, House should vote to impeach. 22%, House should continue investigate but not vote to impeach. 37%, Congress should drop its investigation. President's in good standing with the American people. If you could get close to the truth out of these polls. Number 38, we'll do this very quick and close. If the House impeaches President Trump, should the Senate convict him? GOP 9% yes. That's the Eric Ericksons of the world, the Mitt Romney, Susan Collins. Independents 43, Dems 79. No, Republicans. Independents, no, 47, 14 on Democrats. You know the Democrats is higher than the Republicans. Don't forget, number 41, day 10, Chicago teacher strike. And also, number 40, Russia and Turkey set to set up North Syrian patrols. And now all of a sudden, the Kurds are the media's chosen people. Tomorrow, Thursday morning, I'll be right back here at 8 a.m. We're going to take a brief break. We're not going anywhere, folks. Don't tune out now. If you're used to tuning out, do not. This is for Gilmer County voters. We've got 3 interviews right after the commercial. Jason Biggs, Al Cash, and Jerry Tuso. Okay? 30 minutes each. Ed Stover, Dr. Ed Stover, has never returned a phone call here at this office. Never replied to an email. Hubert Parker declined our offer to interview for you to get a chance to meet him for 30 minutes. So I'm going to take a brief break, and right on the other side of these commercials, our 3 interviews for Post 1 Commissioner Gilmer County. Take us to break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, one nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
Hey, Tuesday, November 5th is Election Day, and Gilmer County has a special election this November 5th. Also, early voting has started now and ends this Friday up till November 1st. It's Post 1 Commissioner here in Gilmer County. Dallas Miller, former Post 1 Commissioner, resigned, and this seat is a special election to fill this seat. Also, whoever wins this election, is to fill a term that expires next year. So if they choose another 4 years or to run for another 4 years, that would be also next year. So this is to fill that term, just for clarification. I'm here with Jason Biggs, one of the 5 candidates in this race. And Jason Biggs is one of the candidates. Mr. Biggs, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me here.
Let me ask you this. This is the first question I ask everybody when we interview. This primary, because it's a special election, the 5 candidates in the primary did not have to identify a party. It's this kind of race, did not have to identify a party. So can I ask you, did you identify a party when you registered for this race?
I did.
And which one was it?
Republican.
I'm just guessing.
You got to excuse me. I was a cop for 20 years. And when reporters come around, I do one-word answers. So you're going to have to work for it.
Okay, so one-word answers. Okay. All right, so let's go back. So you did identify and when you qualified as a Republican on the ballot?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what makes you a Republican? How long you been a Republican? What makes you a Republican? What is it about the Republican Party? Why you identify as one?
Well, I've been a Republican since I was old enough to vote. And I'm really a conservative constitutionalist because I firmly and wholeheartedly believe in the Constitution. And I feel that it was written for a specific reason. And that reason was to protect the government, the citizens of this country.
Okay, so when Dallas Miller, Post 1 Commissioner Dallas Miller, resigned, and you found out about this, you're at home, you find out about this, and what was it that made you decide, you know, I want to get in on this race, I want to be a candidate, I want to serve, you know, this community. So why are you running?
It was really several things that came together. I didn't really like some of the things that I was seeing, and I'll give you a perfect example. I'm a firm believer in that the taxpayers and the taxpayer dollars should be given the utmost respect. And as I mentioned previously, I spent 20 years or nearly 20 years in law enforcement as a public servant. And you know, it bothered me when somebody said, hey, I pay your salary, but in essence it was the truth. So as an elected official and a public servant, I felt that I just wasn't really happy with what I was seeing. And a perfect example of that was the tag office. You know, the tag office was closed from 12 to 1 lunchtime when most people are working, and in order to stop from having to take off from work, they would go to the tag office on their lunch hour. Well, you get there and it's closed. That just absolutely did not make any sense to me whatsoever. Why not close it from 11 to 12 or 1 to 2 or even stagger the lunches? And I've been told that there are reasons for that, but that they didn't really have a good reason why they didn't stagger the lunches.
So the tag office, what else? What else? I mean,
tag office, I got my tax bill in. This is not something that I wanted to do per se, but it was something I felt led to do. And I've learned a long time ago, you answer it when you're called. So that was a lot of the reason. The other reason was I looked at a couple of the people that were saying they were going to run, and I had some very serious reservations with one of them. So, and I'm not the type of person that would sit around and complain and not do anything about it. So if that person got elected, how could I complain if I didn't run?
So what are some of the issues, like what are some of the if and when, whatever, how you want to put it? One of the candidates said, when I win. So if and when you win, or whatever that may be, what are some of the things that the citizens could look forward to as far as you being in that Post 1 chair? You know, what are some of the things that you say you want to work towards, you want to look into, you want to change as far as the county is concerned within the commission?
Well, and my tagline is a voice for the people. And I want to make sure that every property owner, taxpayer, small business owner has the ability to make their voice heard. I want to be very easily accessible. I want them to feel that they can call me at any time. I don't feel like you should have to go to an elected official and say, hey, thank you for your time. You know, it should be the other way around. That elected official should be telling the taxpayer, thank you for your time. And that's kind of what I want to do. I want to be an advocate for, well, let's put it like this. I will not support raising taxes. I will not support any further debt for this county. So that's two things that I feel very, very firmly about.
You know, talking to people and reading social media, I go on, and I don't want to give too much credit to social media, but when we put stories up or other people make comments or anything is said, I go through and I read as many of the social media posts just to get a vibe of what direction the citizens may be thinking. Are they upset, or what is the concerns? And as you read through, I will say these are the three things. Now, I'm the third one I may not have. People are very interested in what's going on with Carter's Lake. Roads and bridges. I mean, that gets a lot of social media time. And not everything's just social media, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
And the pool at this time. When I say the three major things that are going on. So let me ask you on those subjects. What's your opinion where the county, the Corps of Engineers, and what is possibly happening at Carter's Lake? What's your opinion on that issue?
First and foremost, I don't understand why we're in such a rush. I mean, they're not even talking about doing anything until 2022. I can't understand why we're trying to get this done so quickly. Secondly, you know, there's been a lot of public outcry about it, and I appreciate that. But why not use that public outcry to talk to our federal representatives who are in Washington, D.C., and say, hey, we want to put more pressure on the Corps of Engineers or Department of Defense, whatever, to keep it open, or to find another option. The lease, absolutely, I am not in favor of leasing that. I'm really not in favor of having anything to do with it. And let me say this: I've got jet skis, I've got a bass boat, and I love to go fishing with my son. I love to go riding jet skis with my family. But last summer, and we were there just about every weekend. Last summer, I was turned away 5 times at every single boat ramp because there were no places to park. Now, they're showing a shortfall with income. If every one of those parking spaces are full and all the campsites are full, where is the revenue going to come from? And not only that, we're talking about adding a department. Why would we put that much money into something and take on that responsibility when we have other problems and other issues?
Well, I mean, I understand a state parks department and so forth. I get it, but so the county right now is looking at adding another department to handle Carter's Lake.
That was one of the comments that was made, was when they were discussing it, they said we would have to add a department to do this.
So obviously that's growing government, increased spending. Now maybe they say they have enough revenue. I don't know. I haven't seen the numbers. But you're opposed to that?
I think we're moving way too fast. And they showed the numbers. The first numbers that came out were, if we just did an outright lease, $500,000 with $300,000 return, we'd be losing $200,000 a year, plus having to add a department. And that was in the first early initial conversations they were having. Then it went to a cooperative lease or a cooperative partnership. They brought back more numbers, but these numbers only went back for 4 years. I want to see, and I think it was with a revenue of $65,000. I want to see the numbers 8 years back, 10 years back. I want to see what they were when the economy was not doing as well, because I want to see if they're still showing a profit. Aside from that, I don't think government should be in the business of business. Everything's wonderful when the economy's going good, but when the economy starts to go bad, you still have to pay the bills at whatever business you're running. And then that's going to fall back on the taxpayers.
Okay. So right now, what I gather is you just don't see why they're in a big hurry, and you think there's time to look at this from some other ways?
I do.
Okay.
And now, if we involve our representatives in Washington, D.C., and there's nothing they can do, And one of the things about the co-op is we have a 90-day out. I probably, once I looked at it a little bit deeper, I probably wouldn't have a big a problem with that, simply because I don't want the lake to close. But
Right.
Corps of Engineers have already said there will always be access to that lake.
So you don't want the lake to close. You're interested in looking closer at a co-op, but you just are not in favor of the county going into business at the lake and opening another department. Did I get that
Absolutely.
correct?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Let's move to roads and bridges. That's a lot. What say you?
I feel like, in my humble opinion, I feel like our priorities are backwards. Why are we talking about boat ramps and swimming pools when our roads are in the condition they're in? $1.2 million on a swimming pool. That $1.2 million, and I've heard it, numerous people have said, that's just a drop in the bucket for the roads and bridges. Well, at least then we have a bucket. Right now, we don't have a bucket. Put that $1.2 million in a bucket. Let's see how far it goes. And then next time around, put a little bit more in there. We've been saving money for this pool. Why can't we save money for the roads and bridges?
I want to elaborate a little bit. When we say roads and bridges, and that seems to be just a general theme, sometimes we go after as a topic. Can you be specific anywhere in the county with a road or a bridge, or can you drill down on any of that at all?
The bridge at Lower Cartacay Road, those people are having to drive around. And not only that, but emergency services are having to drive around, which extends their arrival time. And it may be 2-3 minutes, it may be 4 or 5 minutes, but it's still minutes that are being wasted. I understand that that GDOT is supposed to come in and repair the bridge in 2021, possibly 2022. But once again, I have a hard time justifying, in my mind, why we're building a swimming pool for $1.2 million and why we're discussing going into a venture at Carter's Lake when people are having problems with their roads that they live on. And I'll just make this perfectly clear. I'm one of those people. I live on a gravel road that has not been graded in over a year. We kept calling the roads department. They told us, this is back in January, they told us they would be out in a week or 2 weeks. And we didn't see them, so we would call, it would go to voicemail, we never got a call back. It's fixed now.
Do you think the road department is just underfunded?
I think they are underfunded and overwhelmed. I think that the job that they have is incredibly difficult. And, I got to tell you, I don't have any complaints at all on the road department, except for, it'd been nice to get a call back and just say, hey, we're working on it, we're doing the best we can. But for not getting any kind of a call at all, that was a little disturbing. But they are underfunded. They are, the amount of work they have to do is massive. And my compliments to them for what they've done so far.
All right, so let me switch over to the pool because, it's a popular sentiment that the roads department is underfunded. Let's switch over to the pool. 1.2 million. I've heard double that, and I don't want to drill down to a number, but I've been told if the first phase, and I think there's some clarification needed on the pool, but if the first phase is completed, pool enclosed and heated pool enclosed for phase 1. So I don't know if 1.2 does it. What do you think of the pool, the location? Should we build the pool now? Should we wait? What are you said earlier, your words, not mine, the priorities are wrong. What say you where the pool is concerned right now?
I don't know that they have a location for it yet, do they?
Well, I think they're looking at the location where the pool is now, but I don't know if that's done. I don't know if they've completed that. I know they were looking out at Clear Creek, and then they were looking at what I called soccer fields over there over the train tracks there behind Memorial Bridge.
Right.
And now I think they're back to the original pool, pulling out of the ground and putting a new one in there.
Well, as far as the pool is concerned, the people voted on it and it passed. So the pool is going to go in, and obviously the people that voted for it wanted it. So they've been heard. As far as how much in depth this pool's going to be, as far as the size of it and the add-ons and everything else, I don't know where it's going to stop. I don't know what the total price is going to be. But I'll give you a perfect example. I live off of a county road, and I've heard it called a couple of different things. They said it's a county-owned, privately maintained road, or it's just a private road. Either way, the people that live on that road have to maintain it, putting gravel down and repairing the ditches and everything else. I would love to put a pool in my backyard, but I just had to pay, and my neighbors just had to pay a lot of money to fix our road. So I don't think I could have justified putting a pool in my backyard if I couldn't get it out of my road.
Right.
And that's kind of the way I look at it.
Let's go to taxes in the county. Property tax. Property tax has grown in the last several years in this county. We have a 1.5. We have a $4 million a year bond payment. And over and above that, we pay in property tax 1.5 mil, okay, for that bond. The rest of the SPLOST money gets to go towards capital improvement projects. Do you think there's room, and I guess putting you on the spot, and I've done all the candidates this way, you think there's room in the budget? Do you think there's room somewhere with the SPLOST to make some adjustments to where maybe half the mill or could come off the property tax, or property tax can eventually be reduced, or do they have to stay right where they're at?
I feel like we really need to look at reducing that mill rate, the mill. It's 1.5 mil to pay back a $4.2 million debt to pay for the courthouse and another $30 million capital improvement fund. I don't understand why this county needed a $30 million courthouse. That just blows me away. We've been paying on it for 15 years. Right now, we're going to have to pay on another 13 years. That means my kids and almost my grandson may end up having to pay on that. That's why I'm not in favor of any other debts. But that 1.5 mil, I would think, as long as the economy continues going well, with a sales tax, I would think that we could drop that off. We should be able to. What about, and you said it earlier, I just want to reiterate it. One, if elected, you would make a commitment not to raise taxes and make a commitment not to go in any further debt in this county? That's correct. Okay, now let me just jump. I will not support it. Let's put it like I'm just one vote. Right, so. You're one vote, but you will not support increasing the debt. Okay, let me ask you this. Whoever wins this race has to turn around and run again. If you win Tuesday night, if you would win Tuesday night or whenever, are you going to run for the next term? This is just to fill a term. So would the citizens know, if they put you in office now, that you would run again? Obviously you don't get it. You would run again for it next year for a 4-year term? I have to get back to you on that one. I know there's only a very short window. Right now, I'm still considering it. Okay, because next year, because this is just to fill this term. Right. Okay. Well, I know that's jumping ahead, so I mean, but I was just wondering, because whoever wins this, if they choose to continue in the seat, they got to start running again. Right. Very quickly.
Economic development in this county. We have a balance of small businesses, agritourism. How do you see economic development at this time and the engine that's necessary to keep it going? And how would you, again, one vote, how would you, what part would you play in trying to see if we can grow the economy or, grow business in this county?
Well, I think that the Gilmer Chamber has been just an outstanding partner in really helping small businesses. They do a phenomenal job. And no, they're not endorsing me or sponsoring me, so let me get that out there right now. I think that we need to work on infrastructure, water, sewer, roads, and bridges before we can even really be considered by any businesses to move here. When businesses are starting to look at an area to move into, they look at a lot of different things. One of the things, traffic count. They look at the traffic count, then they look at rooftops. They fly over, get aerial footage, they see how many rooftops are in that county. That determines how many permanent residents there are. If there's a huge traffic influx and not very many rooftops, they know it's a tourist community. If it's a tourist community, is that tourism going to sustain them through the off season? Then they're going to look at sewer, water, roads, bridges. They're also going to look at business continuity plans. Does the government have a business continuity plan in place for a natural disaster? How quickly is the government going to respond to get their business back up and going? They look at a lot of different things. Are the roads going to be sufficient to get people to back and forth? So I think we need to really focus on infrastructure. The growth is coming. There's no doubt about that. Look at Cherokee County, 247,000 people, and it's starting to move up a little bit. So it's going to come. We need to be prepared for it.
So you do support, because I have every candidate I've talked to, I want to be clear that this is my opinion, and I'm entering opinion here, that I support the chamber. We're a small business in the community that supports the chamber, the Gilmer Chamber, and we remember very well what 2009 and 2010 in this county, and small business had to come together, and we had to have leadership, and we had to have somebody that was very optimistic, and that in whole was the Gilmer Chamber that drove the economic engine here. And I think it does well. Again, I'm inserting opinion. I'll be very clear. I think it does well. And I'm just asking the candidates, what do you say as far as supporting the Chamber of Commerce, supporting their budget, and making it, I would say, a commitment that you would not be interested in ending the contract with the Chamber of Commerce?
Absolutely not. They do too much. It's just like the home builders in this community. Forgive me, I'm just using rough numbers.
No, I want to go there. You're exactly right. I'm glad you brought that up.
But the home building industry employs about, and I'm being rough here, roughly 30% of this community. The amount of money they generate and the revenue that they bring in is incredible. And guess what? They build some nice houses.
Yes, they do.
And that is another entity that I would give my support to.
I couldn't agree more, and I'm glad you brought up the home builders. Home builders in this community, our chamber. There's several things that are driving the economic engine in this community. What have you seen since you started campaigning that's different? So you started out, and it's not unusual for a candidate to start out campaigning one way, and as you've been talking to the voters, as you've been meeting with people, that you're seeing different things in the county that maybe when you decided to run, you didn't recognize or realize until you started sitting down with a lot of people face to face. What are some of the things that you've talked to voters about?
Well, if I could, let me back up to economy one
okay,
second.
Sure.
And that's the agricultural community. I mean, look at the apple festivals. Look at how much revenue that generates. So our farmers, they're awesome, and we've got to maintain that. We have to maintain their agricultural culture as well. So now I'll jump to the other question.
That's fine.
I'm hearing a lot of the people say exactly the reason I'm running: taxes and roads and bridges. So I really haven't heard a lot of new things. I think everybody pretty well agrees that these are the issues. Now I've heard, I'm seeing support from other people on Carter's Lake. I've got a person that I respect very highly. He and I disagree on it. He feels like we should do whatever we can to maintain the boat ramps and the bike mountain bike trails, because that's something that he is highly involved in it and does a wonderful job for our kids. But we disagree on that. But we still get along.
I get it. I get it. What are some of the things you want? And I want to give you the opportunity with all the candidates I do this. What are some of the things that, when you came in today, you said, I want to make sure the voters know about Jason Biggs. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background. You did just a minute ago, you touched on it when we started, but tell the voters a little bit about yourself, some of the things you've done in life, and a little background.
Well, I'm married. Been married for almost 30 years. I've got 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter. I've got a son-in-law and a brand new grandbaby. I'll say brand new. He's 18 months now. And he's a Gilmer County native. So I'm very proud of that fact. All of us live here. We live within walking distance of each other. We purchased property next to my in-laws that have been here for 20 years. And my son-in-law split the property. They built a house. We built a house. And then my son, when he got out of the Marine Corps, he was in Afghanistan. And when he came home, he moved up here as well. So, I guess the thing I hate about it is that out of all my family members that live here, only one of them works in the county. And because there are no jobs. Well, let me rephrase that. There aren't enough jobs. They have to go south.
Right, okay, I get it.
And that's something I want to see change as well. But we've got to build our infrastructure to attract more people and more businesses here. So I divert, I'm sorry. But I spent almost 20 years in law enforcement. I was injured in the line of duty. They awarded me a Purple Heart. And a couple of surgeries later, they were unsuccessful. So I was no longer allowed or no longer able to be a police officer. So I started working for a very large Atlanta-based company as a regional security manager. I cover Georgia, Alabama, Florida, and Puerto Rico. And I deal with vendor security, so I have to deal with contracts, and it's multi-million-dollar contracts. I am responsible for protecting billions of dollars of inventory and several thousand employees. And I also oversee the business continuity plans of all these locations. So when a hurricane comes into Florida or to Puerto Rico, that falls to me.
Well, Mr. Biggs, before we close, what would you like to share with the voters? What final statement would you like to make? This is your opportunity to talk to the voters and tell them why you think they should vote for you.
Well, as I said before, I'm not going to support raising taxes. I'm not going to support incurring any further debt. I would like everyone to really investigate and research the courthouse debt. I think that's very important that you do that before you vote.
Thank you, Mr. Biggs. Appreciate it. Don't forget, folks, Tuesday, that's Tuesday, November 5th, is Election Day. It's a special election to fill the Post 1 commissioner seat vacated by Dallas Miller here a couple months ago. And again, that's November 5th. There are 5 candidates on the ballot. Early voting ends Friday, November 1st. And also, folks, let me remind you that all candidates, 5 candidates, all candidates were invited today to do an average of a 30-minute interview. Again, thank you very much, and that's it for now.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
November 5th is Election Day, this coming Tuesday, and Gilmer County has a special election to replace Post 1 Commissioner Dallas Miller resigned, and that left an open seat. So again, November 5th is Election Day. There's 5 candidates that are running in this race, and we're going to talk to one right now. I'm your host, BKP, and I'm here with Al Cash. Mr. Cash, how are you today?
I'm outstanding. Thank you, sir.
Let me go, let's do a little couple quick things that I always do with every candidate. Now, this particular one, this is Post 1 for Gilmer County. There's 2 things. Because of the special election, you did not have to identify like a primary, a party. Would you care to identify a party at this time? Because you don't have to identify your party when you sign up for these kind of elections. So are you a Republican or Democrat?
I am a Republican, sir.
Okay. So that being said, tell me why you're a Republican. What is that to you? Because I will say this, every candidate, I ask that question because in North Georgia, sometimes somebody runs on a Republican ticket knowing that's the only way in with a 78% Republican vote. So no disrespect, I ask every candidate, what makes Al Cash a Republican and why are you?
My preference for the Republican Party is that I believe in our government and our government structure, our Constitution and all of its amendments 100%. My personal opinion is that the Democratic Party tends to waver from that. I prefer the stronger, more solid, traditional perspective of the Republican Party.
When you first got word that Dallas Miller, former Post 1 commissioner, had resigned, why are you running? What was it you thought, hey, I'm going to run, make a difference? Why is Al Cash running for this post?
Well, I knew the county had specific issues. 3 of them particularly appealed to me, and I felt with my background that I would like to be a part of the solution. I could be a part of the reconstruction, for lack of a better word, of the direction that we were headed with these issues. And those were the things, along with some soul searching and conversations with my wife, that convinced me that I need to be part of this.
Okay, you said 3 things. So what are your you narrowed it down, and I know there's others, and not that you're glossing over them, but on the 3 issues you just brought up, what are those 3 and what are the solutions? Because you said you want to be a part of the solution, so highlight those.
Well, my first concern, my first interest and concern is with the current issue with the United States government reducing the budget for our parks nationwide, which obviously affects our Carter's Lake access and its parks. I'm an avid outdoors person and have a specific interest in retaining not only the parks and access to the lakes, but the income that's generated from the visitors that come here on an annual basis and how it benefits Gilmer County. That's the first issue. My solution to that is the discussions that we're having with the U.S. parks right now are ways for Gilmer County to assume certain expenses and maintenance out there and maintaining the parks. So I would like to have input to that. I would like to know that Gilmer County is being protected. I'd like to make sure that our budget is protected. And I'd still like to be able to hike and camp out at the parks.
So are you in favor of the county assuming the operations at Carter's Lake that the Corps of Engineers is going to, release here soon? Are you in favor of the county taking those operations over?
That's a pretty broad statement. I am in favor of it to the extent that that our budget is not affected, that we have no negative impact on our budget. Understanding that there are still questions to be answered on what does the public provide in return for their payments out of the park, and what is the cost to the county, if any, in maintaining those parks without a negative impact on our budget.
So, but you are very firm that whatever, I think it may be generally a lot of people are very interested in keeping Carter's Lake like it is. I could see that, but you're very firm in whatever we do, it doesn't impact the budget.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you would not see anything where we increased any spending to operate Carter's Lake over and above what was brought in?
My primary objective would be to assist the Army Corps of Engineers out there without it affecting our county budget.
Okay. What was the second issue?
Second issue is the pool. We've been following the pool since that came to pass. And in the last couple of 3 weeks, the existing commission has determined that sites that we had available to us were not exactly conducive to relocating the pool. The current school of thought is to dig out the old pool and put the new one in right where it is now. And that's what I'm in favor of.
You do that when you say pool, just for citizens out there, that's plural. They have 2 pools planned. On their plans, there are 2 pools on there.
Are you referring to the main pool and a waiting pool?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
There's 2 pools. So there was some talk about putting it out at Clear Creek.
Yes.
And I think some public sentiment through social media, as I've read all of it, some of them were like, why are we going all the way out there in the county? So that wasn't real popular with some.
Right.
Then there was the field over here, Soccer Road or something like that, where it crossed the tracks, right, where there were soccer fields on.
Right.
And that wasn't conducive. So now they're looking at putting the pool right where the old pool is now.
That's my understanding, yes.
Now, is that, you're in favor of that?
I am.
You're in favor of that. Have you looked at the cost on the pool, or do you support that revenue that maybe some say could go elsewhere, going to the pool right now and building that pool?
The revenues that have been set aside already, I'm aware of some. I'm not aware of future efforts to secure more funds for the pool, but the bids that I understand at this point, we already have the funds available for. That's my main reason for supporting the current position of rebuilding the pool exactly where it is. The cost effectiveness of purchasing land and excavating to put a new pool in versus what it's going to currently cost to dig out the current pool and replace it with the pools is it's cost effective for the county.
So you support building the new pools?
I do.
Do you support building both of them at the same time, or one and then the second one? Because the first one is a lap pool, also indoor heated facility that seems to be more tailored to just certain groups in the county, and the entertainment of the wading pool is the second part. Do you think they should build both of them, or one and then the second one a year later, or what do you see there?
I'm not familiar enough to know how the costs would be separated from one pool to the other, so let's call it the main pool to the wading pool. If there's not enough money to do both at the same time, then I would support building the main pool first and then the wading pool afterward. If the monies are already there, and because the bids are accepted, I have no problem with building both pools at the same time.
All right. So you said three issues that were at the forefront of your decision making to run for this office. when making your decision. So Carter's Lake, the pool, what's the third one?
Third one is our roads and ways. Mostly because of public opinion, roads seem to be one of the top issues in the county. I come from a background that did what we called workflow studies. Workflow studies involve determining how work is being done, what are the best ways to make it more efficient, and what are the best ways to make it more cost effective. I feel with that kind of background that with the current methodology we are using to attack our road problems, that it appears to be a bit disorganized. I'd like to organize, prioritize the conditions of the roads and how we attack repairing those or replacing them if necessary. And obviously in a lot of instances, these roads are not even paved, and some of them need paving almost immediately. That needs to be prioritized, and the workflow to have that done needs to be ironed out and followed.
All right, well, let me ask you this. So you gave me the three, Carter's Lake, pool, and roads. Now, I don't want to generalize. You correct me if but those, am I correct? Roads and maintenance in the county. So those are the three. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Prioritize them for me now. You said which one's number one, which one's two, and which one's three, based on the finances of the county. So the county has X amount of dollars. We'll just use a hypothetical X amount of dollars, and it can only be spent in a certain way, and you have to pick a 1, 2, and 3 to spend the money on. What are your priorities?
My first priority would be roads. And I say that because we have a little time to spare on the Carter's Lake issue. And the pool, my guess would be that, and I am just guessing, that pool construction would likely not start until after the winter. So roads would be the quickest and easiest to attack. We've discussed, the county commission has discussed bringing together a town hall meeting to bring our citizens in to try to determine which roads have the worst and the most needs. And that would be based on community input, people living out there on these roads, to say, here's what conditions that are around my house and access to my house. This is what I see. And then we get that feedback from the community, and that could be studied and prioritized from that information.
Let me ask you a question. County's in a lot of debt. Okay.
Yes.
And I don't want to look backward. There's a difference in looking backward and going back. I don't want to go backward. Okay. There's a big difference. But sometimes you have to look backward to go forward. And that being said, and I want to ask you point blank, for property tax payers in this county, there's now 1.5 mil on the citizens. The property tax, the property owners in Gilmore County have 1.5 mil on their taxes just to service the debt.
Yes, sir.
That's a line item alone. 2, would you, if elected, look for a way to alleviate at least $0.5 million of those taxes? Would you make a commitment not to raise taxes and not to do anything to put the county in further debt? I know those are 3 areas. We can back up and break each one down. Right now, there's talk that there's 1.5 mil, and there is enough revenue, SPLOST revenue, coming in that the $0.5 million could come off. That's an opinion.
Yes.
Okay, but it is based on the revenue coming in to the county. So, would you commit? And maybe you can't do it immediately, and maybe you won't be able to do it. But would you commit to looking at a way to alleviate at least $0.5 million off our property tax in the county on that bond debt? And where do you stand on any new taxes or raising taxes? And I guess the last one, I'll give it to you. You can go all the way around them. And will you commit not to putting the county in any further debt?
All right, let's start with your first question, and remind me which one that is.
$500,000. We're on $1.5 million. The
Right.
count. If you own property in Gilmer County, you're paying
Yes.
$1.5 million to service the debt, which is a little over $4 million payment a year. We have enough SPLOST coming in to make that payment, but we wouldn't have a lot of capital revenue to use. But half of that mill, which I'm going to say just general, a mill in the county is like $1.2 million. So a half a mill is like $600. So it's almost $1.8 to $2 million that property taxpayers are paying in the county. You see where I'm going?
Yes, sir, I do.
$2 million. Well, $600,000 if it could get backed off, at least $600,000. So would you look at removing the $500,000?
But I would promise to look into it and see if I could find a way to reduce that extra millage.
Okay, what about new taxes? What about new taxes? Would you see a way? Do you see a way to where you would raise taxes, that you would vote? You can't raise taxes by yourself. That you would vote to raise the millage rate or raise taxes in this county?
My opinion is that our millage rate and our taxes are as high as they need to be. I'm not supporting any further taxes or millage in this county.
Will you commit to not, or what is your opinion? I probably shouldn't frame it. Would you commit? What is your opinion of the county going further in debt? If there's a project that comes up and there's an opportunity to finance that project that somebody wants to do, would you say yes or no to further debt in this county?
My first impulse in answering your question is I can't see us going in any further debt right now. There's too much of it. Our citizens are still in an uproar over the current debt that we have, and to increase that or to take on other projects that we haven't even completed yet, that's not on my book.
Let's say capital projects. How will you look to handle capital projects? Would you look to have general contractors build them? I'll say this: Gilmer County right now, and I'm not taking any administration to task. They got to answer for this. But Gilmer County, in the past and present, has struggled with being able to build a project that may seem to cost a lot of money. Currently, we built a fire station in Cherry Lake, $354,000.
Yes.
Fire station. My opinion, and I want to be clear because that should be fair to the audience out there, is Gilmer County doesn't do a very good job of building things at a price that the citizens could afford. That's my opinion. Building capital projects like the pool, like other things that may be coming up, are you more in favor of getting bids outside the county or letting the county act as its own GC?
If my opinion is that letting the county act as their own GC is less expensive. I would want to know and see that the people that are doing the work as our own GC are qualified at every level and follow all the rules of the building codes that are applicable to that project.
And in clarification to any viewer, I understand there was a GC on the Cherry Lake Fire Station, so I don't want to imply anything. Okay, you brought up three things. Tell us a little about you. We jumped right into some things. Let's back up. We talked about Carter's Lake. We've talked about the pool, and we've talked about roads and bridges. Before we get back into that for closing, tell us a little bit about you, Al. Where you're from, a little bit of background on yourself.
Well, I'm an Air Force veteran. I did 4 years active and 2 years reserve. I'm an ex-police officer. I started in Washington, D.C. in the late 60s, and then I spent 10 years with the Orlando Police Department. I was a detective when I left that department. Went to work for State Farm Insurance in 1982. Worked for them for 30 years. My first 15 years were as a claims adjuster, and I specialized in handling third-party litigation claims. And my second 15 years was as an IT guy. Now, people sometimes think IT means strictly technical, but the I stands for information. And that's a reference to my earlier conversation about being involved in what we called workflow studies, when we would travel around the state and determine how jobs were being done, if they were being done effectively, was there any overlaps, were there any gaps, and we made suggestions on how to smooth out that workflow and to make the workflow more budget effective. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Martha. We married in 2002. We got married on a schooner in the middle of Tampa Bay. But when we came close to the end of my career at State Farm, we bought our house up here in 2006. And we intend to live out our whole days here. We love it.
There's a lot of areas, the circle, I call it the circle, and I understand the circle. We have our agritourism. How do you feel about, we have our agritourism, we have the full circle here. Do you feel we're headed in the right direction in trying to grow jobs and the progress needed here for Gilmer County to sustain the future? What do you think about economically in the county, and maybe something we should do or we're doing right as far as you're concerned?
With respect to the agritourism, as I mentioned in one of my previous talks, that's kind of a new buzzword, and I actually like it. My understanding and view of Gilmer County is that Gilmer County is doing very, very well. I like its growth. I like it for two reasons. First of all, because it's very moderate. It's growing at a moderate rate. And second of all, the growth that's coming in here is good growth. The chain restaurants that we're seeing up here, we get a lot of visitors, and they go there a lot, in addition to our famous restaurants down on the square. The other agritourism specialty that I'm particularly fond of are the vineyards. They're a beautiful addition to our county. They provide great products to what our culture truly likes, and the revenue that it brings to our county, it does nothing but good. I like everything that I'm seeing in this county. I just want to make sure that as it grows, it's measured and tempered as it goes along, and that none of this growth takes away from our ability to stay within our budget.
I can't give you a hypothetical, it just wouldn't be fair, because I have watched over here for 10 years now, planning and zoning. As a commissioner, you sit in a position of taking recommendations from your planning and zoning and making final decisions. There are several times they've come to the commission and maybe somebody opposed a vineyard, one case after another, and I'm not just singling that out. Have you looked at some of the planning and zoning? And like I said, I can't give you a hypothetical, so a general answer, are you prepared to sit and take everything into account when making decisions in planning and zoning, and how do you see that?
Well, I'm going to go back to my previous statement regarding the workflow studies. In answer to your question, absolutely. I'm a fact finder. I've always referred to myself as a king of research, and I'm a terrible fact finder. I'm a huge Facebook fan, and stuff that I see posted, you take with a grain of salt anyway. But I research just about everything everybody posts to make sure that there are facts, because some of the stuff is good and I like to share. I share positive things. And before I share those, I fact check those as well. So I would research every aspect of of a plan, a thought, the construction, the location, and how it affects our economy and our budget.
You know, and I'm going to make this my last question on the subject and give you a chance to close. But I'm just using a window of 10 years. And in the past 10 years, you know, small business and what we went through in 8 and 9 and 10, and our business community here, we had no choice but to band together. And I will say this, we had no choice but to band together, not be ugly at each other, and give the lead, my opinion, to our chamber. And our chamber, these are opinions of mine, okay? Yes. Our chamber has done an outstanding job in the last window of 10 years of economically what we've gone through to have to keep this ball rolling. Mm-hmm. Now, my support for the chamber, and I do, again, we're in opinion area, but my support for the chamber is just this. They are the circle of economic growth through private industry. And I support that because we want to bring business, we want to bring agritourism, we want to bring people to spend money. When they spend money, we get splost money and hotel motel tax. So I think they're the best, to me, economic engine in the county. All right, to keep things going. So I guess with all of that, do you support the chamber, and would you support continuing a contract with the chamber?
And you're referring to the Chamber of Commerce.
Well, I would call them that, but actually it's the Gilmer Chamber. I mean, you know, yes, the Gilmer Chamber.
Okay. In response to that question, I support them 100%. I follow their sites. I visit them. I like what they do. They have a wonderful staff. They're organized. The material that they put out to the public, not just locally, but actually goes out statewide and even region-wide. I like it. I like what they do. I like their workflow. I'm very happy with them, and I would support them 100%.
Would you look at the budget, and I'm not to put you on the spot, but an open question, would you look at the budget and see about maintaining the revenue that goes to the chamber for them to continue to work the way they do? So I guess what I'm saying is do you, without looking, you can't make sometimes a solid answer, but would you commit to not cutting their budget and keeping a contract with them? And I will say this, there has been talk in the past of ending the contract, and that's the only reason I bring it up because there's 3 on the commission, and there's, you know, you're either the deciding vote or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Yes, so it's very important that maybe some people know where you stand on your the contract continuing with the Gilmer Chamber, and also keeping them enough revenue to market our county.
I would support that. It's difficult without numbers to commit to more or less than what we are budgeting, but I'll repeat myself. They would have my 100% support. And from my understanding at this moment is to support them at the level of income.
My apology, folks. I did set an alarm to make sure we stayed on focus. So my apology, Mr. Cash. Go ahead.
I'll make it brief. I support the chamber, and I would support them within our budget. And I have no intention of reducing what's budgeted to them now.
Okay, let me say this. First of all, I appreciate you coming in.
Yes, sir.
And I want to give you this opportunity to talk to the voters, whatever closing statement you would like to make to tell the voters, or whatever you want to say to close right now. Have at it.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be here and to discuss these matters with you. My parting statement would be that I've always been a fair and honest person my entire life. I have based it on the word integrity. I stand by that. That's the legacy that I intend to leave my children and to leave Gilmer County. And I would ask for your vote, and I promise you that you'll have that integrity every day that I'm in office.
Mr. Cash, as we tell every single candidate here that comes in, we wish you well, and we thank you for your willingness to serve your county. All right. Hey, folks, we have had this opportunity. Put the information back up there for me. Election day is November 5th, okay? And that is early voting ends Friday, November 1st. And we want to say that I appreciate, and this is the way we do all of our interviews, Mr. Cash told us 3 areas that of biggest interest to him in making his decision to run. We explored those 3 areas. We went around those 3 areas. We talked about some finances of the county. And our goal here is always just to get you the most information and meet these candidates. Again, Mr. Cash, we appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching this interview.
1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Better days ahead.
October is Truck Month at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, with the year's biggest savings on every 2019 Chevy truck and SUV in Days' massive inventory, like over $11,000 off Silverado crew cabs, or more than $8,000 off new Chevy Colorados. So don't just sit there. Go save a payload during Truck Month, happening now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevy trucks always cost less.
Better days ahead. Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hey folks, next Tuesday, November 5th, is Election Day in Gilmer County. Early voting has started and it will end November 1st here this Friday. Dallas Miller, former Post 1 commissioner, resigned, empty seat, and there's 5 candidates on the ballot this Tuesday for Post 1 Commissioner Election Day Tuesday. And I'm here with Jerry Tuso, one of the candidates. Mr. Tuso, how are you today?
I'm just fine. I appreciate you having me to come in and speak.
Let's start here, and these are the first 2 questions I always ask. Now, I know you can identify on the ballot, but because this is a special election, party affiliation was not necessary. It's an open election. Did you affiliate with a party?
Yes, I did affiliated with the Republican Party.
Tell the viewers out there, why are you a Republican? What makes you a Republican, Jerry?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I've been working in the Republican Party in this county for over 14 years and has held the position of chairman and vice chairman during that period. And we've always been very conservative in that way. Our main job is to make sure that good conservative people are elected. And I think that came out with the election with Donald Trump, Steve Gooch, and Doug Collins. So we get good people elected.
All right, well, let's move to this. You have run for post commissioner before.
That is correct, yes, sir.
Why again?
Well, my background and the things that I have done make me feel like I still have plenty of time to contribute. And I want to talk about that just for a second. I'm not just basing it on my business experience, on my Republican experience, but also on my experience of being a servant, of working with Faith, Hope, and Charity, for example, GRASP, Kids First, Seamless Summer. I go on mission trips and help people there. So I am a servant, and most of my jobs in industries were as a servant, and that's my life, and that's what I do, and that's what I want to do again.
What are some of the issues in the county that brought you back to run? Now, I vividly remember it wasn't long ago that you interviewed right here with me running for post 2 at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some of the issues then, but let's take some of those issues and the issues now. What are some of the biggest issues that you were sitting at home and saying, I'm going to run because I want to make a difference, or I have concerns, or whatever that may be in Gilmer County?
Well, there's actually 3 that are very obvious to everyone right now. And that's number 1 is the swimming pool, not in order of importance, but number 1, swimming pool. Number 2, roads and bridges. Number 3, what do we do to get small business, medium-sized business into the county? We've got a lot of beautiful land in the eastern part, especially more level, and we need to do something out there.
All right, so you said 3 things. Let's go with the pool. Now, when you say the pool is important, are you in favor of building the pool, opposed to building the pool? What's your position on that all around?
Well, going to have to do some more study, but initially I want to say that the pool, as far as recreation for adults and children, is pretty much, in my mind, a must. It equals the tennis courts and the basketball and the picnic area. It's all part of what recreation that we need in the county. Now, how do we do this? Well, we found out we can't go across the river and have it, so we go find another place. Where is that? Well, let's dig up the hole we got and put it there. Is that a valid thing to do? I don't know yet. It is a choice, but there's got to be some other properties somewhere where it's not going to have that horrendous cost. I'm not for or against yet. I'm saying it's a thing we need, but I need more study on it.
I know you used to come over. Well, you've been to several commission meetings.
Yes.
Put it like that. And what about, you brought up the second issue of roads and bridges. Why roads and bridges?
Well, because it's a big issue, not only to appease homeowners that don't have paved roads, but it's a big issue as far as safety is concerned too, because we have to have good roads that our firefighters can get to and our police can get to, public protection, that kind of thing. Now, what we're faced is there's 400 miles of roads in Gilmer County. Only 200 are paved. It costs $80,000 a mile to pave the roads. We don't have the money right now. So we're going to have to figure out a way to get some money and grants to get us some more roads. This county is going to grow, but it won't grow satisfactorily without roads and bridges. Now, the bridges are going to be tough. We're going to have to get some good grants, and I think we can. We just had one done, and I think we can get the grants for more.
All right.
Excuse me. I'm very interested in getting grants, pursuing grants. They're all out there. I know that we have one person in the county who's been successful, and I think we need to keep him going after them and get more grants. The other thing is, I'm going to throw this into it too. When somebody comes out to Gilmer County with a business, they want to look for infrastructure. Where do I put this? And you've got to have roads for it. You've got to have roads. We don't have railroads running through here that can take materials made here out. Everything's going to be by trucking. We've got to have the roads.
Well, yeah, roads, water and sewer and electricity.
That's correct.
You gotta put that in a box together if you're gonna. Let's talk about economic development.
Well, let me finish one more on that then. There's one way you can get it, and I've brought this up before, and I don't think that everybody understands it. We've got to figure out a way, I believe, to do tax breaks for businesses that want to come here. Now, the first response I've gotten from people is that, well, we're not getting any tax money from them. Well, yes, we are, because we're providing jobs. Those people that come here to work with those places, they buy houses, they pay property tax, they pay sales tax. So we are gaining from it. It's only for a period of time to get somebody to come in. And I wanted to get that issue out.
Well, now that being said, taxes itself. Well, let me go back. You had three issues. You said with the pool, talking about roads and bridges, and then you said economic development.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think we have to do to spur more economic development in Gilmer County, and why was that your number three? Not in that order, but why was that one of your issues?
Well, there's no doubt that in this county there's going to be growth. And the way I like to say it, the way you can see it, is that 16 years ago when I came this way, you could pass Six's Road on 515, 575, and there'd be another car not in front of you all the way to Gilmer County. Now you can't get past Pickens County without having traffic jams. Things are moving this way. We've got to grow with it. And how we do that, again, economic growth. And we've got a couple gentlemen in this county, without saying names, that are doing a great job getting some in here. But we need to do more and bigger. And the way we can do that is with, I think, the tax issue. Now, we're not going to be able to fight growth, but we can grow it where it's sustained. People say, well, we need more housing for entering housing. Yes, we do. And we've got good builders in this county that can do it and do good jobs at it. We've got to support them doing it. But we don't want another Atlanta situation where we end up with a bunch of quadruplexes and in 10 years they're all falling apart. We've got good builders here that'll stop that. Now, again, why do our children graduate from Gilmer County and go away to school and don't come back? Jobs aren't here. It's our job to get the jobs here.
Right.
Here's another way to do it. And I've said this in the last run. We need to use what we have to do it. That river out there is beautiful. We can use that. We can put shops, restaurants, and all other kinds of things on both sides of the river with walk acrosses. What an attraction that would be for tourism. You want to do tourism, do something like that. Bring them in here. Bring their money. That's all tax money. And we need that tax money to make that $4 million payment.
Let me go into that $4 million payment. And what you're talking about for the viewers out there is we have an average of a $4 million bond payment every year. I'm just going to say 80 plus thousand million in debt. Thousand would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
80 plus million in debt. $4 million average bond payment a year. So let me ask you this. We have the SPLOST coming in. We have $1 million that was put on property tax. Then it went up to $1.5 million. Property tax, property owners in Gilmer County pay $1.5 million just for the bond payment. You know, that's right at $2 million, close to $2 million that's taken out of this county from the taxpayers.
Yes.
For that bond, that maybe that could stir economic development. So I guess I'll ask you this question, and I've been asking this of all candidates. Would you look at the 1.5, at least the 0.5 on the mill, and see if we're not in position now with the SPLOST to alleviate any kind of tax burden to the property tax owners? I mean, could you look at reducing taxes? And I won't pin you down on that. 2, if in office, would you make a commitment to the citizens not to raise their taxes? And 3, would you make a commitment not to go in any further debt in Gilmer County?
Well, number one, I will not sign anything that is property tax increase during my term of office. That's it. That's done. It's high enough now. It's high enough now. And with the increasing school taxes we see every year, it's making it very tough on these people with moderate incomes to make the payments. Now, the second issue was what?
Well, the I guess the last thing in that.
You said Gilmer County spend more money.
Would you make a commitment not to, at no point in your term, vote or agree to anything that would increase the debt in the county, take on more debt?
Absolutely. I would not sign anything to take on more debt.
Without being able to see all the numbers, and I want to be fair to the current administration, without being able to see all of the numbers, would you at least be open to looking at the 1.5 mil to see if any part of that can be alleviated from the taxpayers?
Oh, certainly. I'd certainly be willing to look at it. And that could possibly be one of our answers on these big hundreds of thousands of dollars of road machines we need to do it. That'd be a way to do it if it'll work. There's nothing that says you can't look at something like that and not find a surprise. And you can. I would study it, yes. Economic
engine, you talked about economic development. A couple quick things. We know what the SPLOST revenue was in 2009 and 10. It has grown enormously now, which we're very thankful the economy's doing well. But that being said, with the money coming in, I watched over the last 10 years, it's my opinion, and I want to be clear, this is my opinion, that the economic driver has been the Gilmer Chamber for the most part. And I won't say everything, but for the most part, agritourism, the Gilmer Chamber being business friendly, trying to work with the small businesses. Do you support the Gilmer Chamber, and would you make sure that their budget currently, or maybe even more if necessary, to bring more economic development in? How do you see the chamber and their role in this county?
Well, I think they're just a great part of the growth of the county. I think they've done a tremendous job in the last 6 or 8 years, where I have particularly watched them more. I think actually their budget with an increase and not reducing their budget would be beneficial in bringing more business in. They would probably need more help, the way I understand it.
So you would not, and the reason I say this is not to mention names, but there was a little bit of a push to end the contract with the chamber this past year. So you think the county should maintain a contract with the chamber and work with them to continue the direction they're going?
I think they absolutely should, and I would no way ever consider, at least in the current situation, of reducing their budget. In fact, the opposite is true. I would look at it very well to see if maybe their budget could be increased.
What would you have you looked at the budget recently, and if is there anything that stands out to you in the budget? Do you look at where we can tighten our belt anywhere, or maybe there's still offices out there, constitutional officers, that say they need more to operate? Have you had an opportunity to look that over?
Well, I've had that opportunity to look it over, and I think there's some issues that can be looked at. I think generally we're doing pretty well as far as looking at these things. I think the commissioners are doing a pretty fair job at that. But like in any business, there's always 5% somewhere. In all the experience I have, I've been able to find more ways that you can squeeze a little bit more out of a budget. Now, as far as the constitutional officers, we can't set their salaries or anything. I don't know if the people understand that comes from the governor's office.
Well, there's some departments and constitutional officers that say, they need more here and there to operate and so on and so forth. So I just wondered because now a department is roads and bridges and the maintenance, county road maintenance.
Sure.
I have heard that it's come back to me. I don't know, and I want to be clear here. I cannot tell the viewers I know 100%, but I've been told it was underfunded. It still needed, a better budget, a higher budget to operate, because if a lot of people are concerned about roads and bridges, that may be an area where it does need, more funding to operate.
That could well be. And I'd look at that with a fine-tooth comb because it's very important.
Let me ask you something that you did not wade into, and I try to get as many issues or as many subjects up.
Sure.
What has come up recently is Carter's Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you stand on the position of the Army Corps and the county possibly, and again, I want to be cautious with this, they're just talking right now, but where the Corps may close, boat ramps and the park areas, and the county look to take them over or figure out how to keep them open is the best words. How do you weigh in on what's going on with Carter's Lake?
Well, what I've heard about that discussed and what I've heard about the options are, et cetera, I believe, I'm not even going to say I'll go study it because I've heard enough of it. And my belief is that's not our business. I would vote no to take any part of that recreation thing because of one big reason is that there'll be people coming from all over the state, if not longer than that, using those facilities. And I can't imagine what a liability insurance problem we would have in that. I would suspect the first year or two, we'd have 2 lawsuits against the county because it wasn't being maintained properly. Somebody tripped over a trash can and saw the magic nickel coming. I'm against it. I don't think it's our business to be in that area. It's their land. Let them take care of it. If they can't do it, get out. Somebody else will take it.
Last time, and I do want to go back to the last time you ran with one subject. What do you feel the role is of a post commissioner, and how much of a role should, right now it's a part-time position, how much of a role in county government should the post commissioner be involved in and play, and what's your position on that?
It is a very, very misnamed position as part-time. My observation in all these years is it takes more than part-time to do the job properly. And I expect to do more than that. I don't understand how you can have your own outside business and still do a good job at that. The job is just too big. Now the function of the post commissioner. It is not a position to lead. It's a position to support the chairman. That doesn't mean you agree with him all the time. But when there's agreement and you should all be together, you should support him, you should research for him, and you should aid him. The chairman's job is tremendous, and those two people that are there need to be helped.
I want to tell you how much I appreciate you coming in today. Before we close, Mr. Tuso, what final message would you like to say to the voters? What is something maybe we didn't cover today you want to share with the viewers?
Well, I think we've pretty much covered it all. I just asked for the opportunity again to serve you, and I have made a guarantee that should I be elected in this election, that I'll also run for the next 4-year term. So,
This one is, and you did bring. Glad you brought that up. This is to complete a term, and you have to turn right around and start running again next year.
Next year.
So if elected, you commit to run for the next term.
Well, let's just say when elected, I'll run for the next one.
Okay. You said it. There you go. But I got it. Okay, yes. You do have to follow the next term.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jerry Tuso. He is on the ballot and under the name Jerry Tuso, Republican, for Post 1, Commissioner here in Gilmer County. Election day is Tuesday, November 5th. That's Tuesday, November 5th. And also, folks, early voting is happening now until Friday. We want to let you know here at FetcherNews.com, FYNTV.com, that all 5 candidates were invited to be here and interview with us. So to have a 30-minute interview. Again, thank you very much, and we appreciate it, and that's all for today.
Thank you.